Welcome out to the show, guys. This is Studio 321. This is your podcast host, Eddie B, coming to you from the 321. So everybody sees what's going on right now. Elon Musk has been getting attacked left, right, and center. They firebombed a couple of his Tesla dealerships up north. One of his dealerships got shot up by some activists, and people were spray painting on them. Some of the cars have gotten keyed and kind of, just messed with all around the country. So anyways, the left and the Democrats are focusing on Elon Musk, but the truth is none of this is his fault. Okay. And it's just, I find it kind of ridiculous that people are angry that he's trying to cut government waste and spending. So, they keep talking about all these scams that he keeps finding, and if you don't know what that is, I'm gonna explain that to you in just a second. But so Elon Musk's the Tesla stock is down. It's really hurt a lot of his business. Doing the Doge thing, and but he's done some interviews lately trying to explain the reasoning why. And to me, it makes complete sense. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and break down some of this stuff that you might not understand, about when they're talking about how the scams in the government work. Okay, so let's say this is what happens. So let's say I'm a government official. Okay, I get elected, and immediately I'm going to open up a couple of nonprofit businesses or charity groups or charity companies, in my name, right? So I immediately start that once I get elected. So because I have a lot of influence power, so people are going to come to me and they're going to want government grants for certain things. Now, let's say I'm a government official who believes in, green energy, whatever. Everybody knows my stances, right? So they know where I stand. So what's going to happen is a lot of green companies are going to come to me. So let's say a solar panel company comes to me and says, hey, we want to build solar panels in, I don't know, Burma, right? And we need $10 million for our green agenda, which, with solar panels. And we're going to try to teach the Burmese people, how to use solar and all that stuff. So I say, well, how much do you need? They say, well, we need $10 million in the grant. And so what I do is I go, okay, I'm going to make that happen for you because I know the people who allot the money. I'm going to give you 15 million instead of 10. Now you only need 10, but I'm going to give you 15. But what I'm expecting from you in return is I want you to take the other $5 million and I want you to donate it to one of this list of charities. Now, I'm going to give them that list of charities that I expect them to donate to. And what happens is this money is reallotted every year or every other year. So in other words, the way that works is if you donate to these charities, well, then you're going to get more money next year and more money the following year and so on and so forth. If you don't donate to this list of charities that I'm going to hand you, on this list, then you won't get any more money. So what happens is they take the they take the $15 million. They use the 10 like they're supposed to. They build their solar panels. They're doing their thing down in Burma. They take the other $5 million and they donate that back to the charities that I have on my or NGOs, which is non-government organization. But they're basically the same thing. Charity, non-government organization, they're kind of the same thing. So they donate that $5 million back to the ones on the list. Well, I happen to own one of the ones on the list. Okay, so let's say there's 3 on the list, or and so we each get it roughly like $1.5 million each charity, right? So my charity that I own just got donated $1.5 million. Well, let's say that my charity is to feed hungry children in Thailand, okay? So what I do now that was donated money, so I can't, and it's in a charity. But let me explain to you how charities work. For a when you open up a charity, it's basically a business, okay? But a certain percentage of your intake of money has to go to the cause, but it's only 10%. Okay, so if let's say I got $1 million donated to my charity, I would only actually have to spend $100,000 on the actual cause of feeding the children. The other 900,000 could go to running the business, paying the employees, supplies, expenses, stuff like that, right? So what happens is, so let's say they donate that $5 million. It gets split up between three charities, 1.5 million roughly each. So I got 1.5 million in my charity now. So again, I can't just spend that money on myself because it is donated money. There's laws around that. But I can buy whatever, expensive cars I want in the name of that charity. I can also, travel. Let's say I want to go to Thailand. I can use a lot of that money to travel to Thailand and vacation and use it as a business trip for my charity. You see what I'm saying? I could also buy supplies for that charity, let's say, from a company that maybe my brother owns. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot of ways to funnel that money back to myself. Okay. Now, again, I hold all the cards in that situation because if this person does not donate back to the charities that I want donated to, then next year when this allotment of money comes up again for the solar panels in Burma, then they don't get any more money, and then that closes them down. So see, that's the way it works. The money goes out. It's like a big circle. The money goes out, goes through their hands, goes through some charities' hands, and at the end of the day, it gets worked back to me. Now, I own the charity that the 1.5 million got donated to, but you got to remember again, I'm not allowed to mess with that money because it's donated funds. But I can pay myself as the CEO of that charity, or I don't know if it's a board of directors or whatever of that charity because I own it. I can pay myself an exorbitant amount of money to run it. So let's say a normal charity like that would pay somebody $50,000 a year to run it, right? I could pay myself $300,000 a year to run it. And that $300,000 a year would come out of the money that was donated to the charity. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is that's how these government people all get rich. A regular government senator or a House representative or whatever, those people make about between 150 and like 200,000 a year, but they all leave office as millionaires. Well, one reason for that is, number one, is insider trading because they get information on stocks and stuff way before it comes out. And that's pretty common. But what I'm talking about, the NGOs and the charity groups, that's the other part of it. It's a big money scam. It's basically money laundering. Okay. And so, we're us normal folks, we're all sitting around wondering how are these people getting so rich all the time, but that's how they do it. And it's huge. But this is the thing. Why are we just hearing about this now? Well, the reason we're just hearing about it now, and don't kid yourself, they've done this on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, for years and years and years. And they don't tell on each other because they're all doing it. Okay? And again, why would you? I mean, you're not going to tell on the person that's doing the same thing as you and you're both making a bunch of money from it. It's just kind of like that. It's like that untalked about secret in Washington. And that's how all these people get rich. It's influence. It's what it is, right? So, when Doge got involved, and this is the thing, right? Nobody ever tells on each other in Washington because they're all doing the same thing. But here comes Donald Trump, right? We all saw what they tried to do to Donald Trump over the 4 years. They tried to put him in jail, bankrupt him, do all this crazy stuff. So he basically came in with the idea of, hey, F you, I'm going to put it all out there, because he knew the secrets too. Okay, he already did 4 years. He knows how this works. So now he's just going to blow up the whole system, and that's why we have Doge. Okay, so all these all these weird things that money has been used for overseas, like when they're talking about like the transgender play in Pakistan or whatever, all that crazy stuff they keep talking about. Those are all money scams. That none of that stuff is real. I mean, a few things might be real, but most of it is just money scams. You know, and again, all that money ends up coming back. Now, if the Democrats are in power, what's going to happen is most of that money is going to come back to Democrat causes. All these political super PACs, that spend money on the campaigns. So again, if I own the charity and I got you that $15 million, I need you to send money back donated to the super PAC that I support, or which will fund the next Democratic presidential campaign or whatever. Or if you don't donate to that, which I'll be able to see because that's all public record, if you don't donate to that, then you'll never get any more money from me. But it's not actually my money to give, it's your money to give as a taxpayer. So yeah, it's a huge scam, and it's annoying. You know what I mean? Normal folks like us, we're all busting our butts trying to make a living, and all these people do is set up these scam companies, and they just skim money off the top, and it's crazy. Okay, so here's the thing. Elon Musk has started to expose all this stuff. And it's billions of dollars, which everybody, again, they already knew this in Washington. This was no secret. It was just a secret that had never gotten out. So what happens now, right? So the Democrats, that's been their main cash cow for a long time. Okay. And so they're lashing out. They're lashing back because if they don't stop Doge, what's going to happen is come the next election, they're not going to have nearly the kind of money they've had in the past for campaigning and for their elections. They're just not going to have the kind of money because the scams will be over with. And you'll never be able to stop them 100%, but it's going to definitely be cut down, I would say, at least by 50%. So that's why they're lashing out against Elon Musk. And it's really sickening. Like I'm arguing with people online all the time, and they're saying, "Oh, we need to deport Elon, and he's terrible." But they don't actually even know. They don't even actually even know why they're mad at him. They're just mad at him because the Democrats say you should be mad at him. And I argue with people, and I'm like, hey, he's cutting waste, he's cutting fraud and abuse, and some of them just hit me back, and I'd rather just have the waste and abuse. And I'm like, are you people insane? Like it's really disheartening to watch, because what you realize is, okay, how dumb a lot of Americans really are. Like how dumb they are. It's disheartening, and think about it, right? So yeah, Donald Trump won a mandate, and he won all the swing states and everything, but he still only won by about 2% of the vote. So that means if you really just step back and look at it, 48% of the country voted for Kamala Harris. Think about that. That's sickening. She's such a babbling idiot, and anybody that watches her for 5 seconds can tell it. You know it, and especially now because everything she says is not scripted anymore, and it's not, complete edited by 50 people. So when you watch her talk now, you realize how actually dumb she really is. And it's like, man, we came close to electing this woman, and it's scary to think about. But anyways, that was kind of a sidebar there. But getting back to Elon Musk. So I know that they're working their way through all these government agencies. I don't know how much longer Elon Musk is going to be able to take this kind of beating that he's been taking from the Democrats. I mean, I know it's hurt the stock for Tesla. I know it's hurt his companies. I'm sure his shareholders are pretty pissed at him. And so if, in my opinion, I would think within sometime in the next year, he's going to basically turn this whole Doge program over to someone else and step down and go back to the private life, and so he can get out of politics because, it's turning into a major bloodbath right now. But look, we have to do this, and that's another thing. I argue with people online and they act like we have all these other alternatives, but they don't understand 37 trillion in debt, So where is the final wall on that? I mean, how much debt can we actually afford? Is it 45? Is it 50 trillion? Because if we get to that point, okay, once we hit that wall, and we will hit it like a wall, it'll be overnight, man. There'll be nothing left. The government will just basically come out and say, oh, well, we have no more money. We're bankrupt. Social Security, all of that's going to be cut off, and sorry for your luck. And then whoever's in power will just blame the other side, and then it'll cause complete chaos, either revolution or something, and then we'll have violence starting. And that's exactly what will happen. Because look, you can't tell millions of people who worked for 30 years and are collecting Social Security that paid into it for 30 years that all of a sudden, oh, we don't have any more money. Because then you've just lied and you basically told me you spent all my money. And that's not going to fly, man. It's just not going to fly. So that'll cause major problems. And look, we just have to get a handle on this now. Now, why is Trump the one trying to deal with this? Well, we all know Trump has got a super big ego, right? And a lot of times that's good. But he's also a problem solver. He likes to solve problems and kind of be the hero, which, look, again, that's good in his situation, right? It means stuff's going to get done. He knows, because of what his advisors have told him, that we're in a bad situation with this debt. Now think about this. 37 trillion in debt, right? That means that the interest alone, because we owe interest on that money as well. The interest alone on that, okay, pretty soon is going to be $1 trillion a year. So imagine if you had credit cards and you were paying $500 a month on that credit card to try to get it paid off. But then you realize that the $500 a month you're spending is not even going to pay the credit card down. It's just paying the interest on the card. You'd be screwed, wouldn't you? Well, that's where we're at right now. Okay. The interest is so high on this debt that's basically right now all we're doing is paying the interest, and that can't be sustained. Okay. And we've been adding about $2 trillion a year in deficit to the debt every year. Now, you can blame Trump, you can blame, Biden, but the truth is, ever since Bill Clinton, he was the last person to have no budget deficit. Ever since him, we have had deficit get bigger every single year. So it's everybody's fault, Republican and Democrat. The reality is, though, Trump is actually going to try to solve it. And look, that's going to cause some pain. It is. It's going to be hard on the country for a little while. Again, it's like going back to your own credit cards. If you owed all this money and you're paying $500 a month on your credit card, you look at your wife and you go, hey, look, man, we ain't going out to eat for a while. We got to stop buying toys and playing around and going out on the weekend until we get this credit card paid down. Well, that's where we're at in the country right now. We have to do some things, which is going to cause a little pain to get this under control. Otherwise, again, we're just going to go forward further and further, and we're going to hit a wall. And then one day it's just going to be like the lights just went out, man. And that's going to be the end of it. It's going to be a bad situation for the country. Okay. So, and look, Trump, he could take this whole thing and kick it down the road and kick it on to the next administration. And that's what all the presidents do, because they don't want to deal with it. Okay. But he's trying to take it on. He's trying to fix it. It's the major problem with our country right now. It's worse than anything. Okay. It's more of a threat than war or any of that stuff. It's going to bankrupt our country. And I respect him for trying to take it on. He's catching hell for it. like I said, it's going to cause some temporary pain to the people. And so politically, it's sometimes that's not the greatest move for a president, right? But he knows how important this is, and he knows it has to be corrected. And I respect him for that. I also respect Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a volunteer. He don't get paid for none of this stuff. And yeah, he might get some government favors out of it. I don't know how that works. He probably will, and that's fine in my mind. Okay, because the government itself has proven to us over the years that it can't regulate itself. It can't regulate its own spending. The Democrats keep saying, "Oh, well, we do need to make cuts, but we need to do it as government officials." Yeah, well, why haven't you done it over the last 20 or 30 years? The truth is you don't want to, and you don't care enough. So what does Trump do? He brings in an outsider who knows how to do that because, everybody saw what Musk did to Twitter, right? And he runs SpaceX and he runs Tesla. Like, they're just very streamlined companies. And so Trump brought him in to fix, help fix all these problems, and he's just catching hell for it. But like I said, I respect him a lot. I think he's doing a great job. I hope he continues. But I also hope he's got a lot of security around him because there's some real nutbags out there right now. Like I said, they shot up one of his dealerships, and they've been burning some of the cars and stuff, and it's really hurting his product. But he understands the importance of all this, and I think at least half the American people also understand the importance. The other half, they're always cuckoo anyways. They don't understand anything about business or anything. So, whatever on them. But anyways, guys, if you like my video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me if you subscribe and hit that notifications button. And this is Studio 321. This is your podcast host, Eddie B, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.